What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. What's up, Ken? What it do? Let's see, Karmelo.
Trial of Karmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but the jury will not include anyone who is black, despite this case being racially charged. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no black jurors on this panel. Now, I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background, Karmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony was reportedly sitting under a tent for a school that he did not attend. Witnesses say the two got into an argument and Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. Police said that Anthony told them he acted in self-defense. Now, this case has become racially charged, fueled in large part by online speculation, rumors, and misinformation. On Wednesday, attorneys for both sides got an hour and 45 minutes to question the reduced poll of these potential jurors. They were questioned on their views on a variety of topics, including race, how they felt about serving on this case, and if they would hold it against the defendant if he chose not to testify on his own behalf. The defense also tried to gauge if the potential jurors would be uncomfortable giving Anthony a lower sentence if there is a guilty verdict. I talked to a jury consultant about the process so far.
It's an excellent team on both sides. I believe Bill Worski has, he's a veteran prosecutor. He's tried some very high-profile cases. And then Toby Shook has been both a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. And then Mike Howard is an excellent criminal defense attorney as well. And they, along with the DA, it's going to be a very well-tried case.
And I did speak with Allison Richardson before the jury was sat, so I did not have a chance to ask her about these late-breaking developments. Now, this high-profile case continues to draw supporters and spectators to the Collin County Courthouse. We saw another group of folks demonstrating at the entrance of the courthouse this afternoon. We expect that to continue throughout the trial, which the judge hopes to have wrapped up by the end of next week. Now, I can tell you that 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony was in court today for the proceedings. He was wearing a suit with a tie and a purple shirt, which is also the color many of his supporters have been wearing. He did take some notes during the proceedings. I can also tell you that there does appear to be some minorities on this jury panel. Again, however, none of them are African American. Opening statements begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. Back to you.
Okay, Alex Boyer in.
He said there appears to be some minority. Appears to be. You know what that means, right? That means that it's somebody cosplaying. It's probably some Hispanic person, Latino person that looks white, right? The fix is in, fam. He cooked. He is cooked. Ain't no way that you have an all-white jury in 2026 in a racially charged case. Anyway, it don't matter where you are. even if you have to bust some damn jurors in, you make sure that that jury is racially diverse so that, you know, you get whatever if the verdict come back not guilty, you know that it's going to be hard for them to appeal it, because you can say, no, we had a nice mix of jurors and it wasn't all white, because we know for decades at one point in this country's history, in fact, for a couple of centuries, a black person couldn't get a guilty verdict, point blank, period. A black person couldn't get a black person couldn't get an innocent verdict if they were the defendant. A black person couldn't get a decision to go in his way at all if he went into a court against a white person. Point blank, period. You could not get anything to go in your favor because, first and foremost, all of the jurors were white. Now, I'm not saying a jury of white people is incapable of being fair and impartial, but most of their asses are. Absolutely, most of them are. They're incapable of being fair and impartial. And in that town, Frisco, where they are, where that happened at, word on the street is this is going to be a slam dunk. This is all academic. This is all a dog and pony show. They've already got their mind made up that he's guilty. The whole town, you know, that looked like Austin and his brother, they're pretty much saying that they're going to use all of the resources they have to make sure that he's convicted. So there's a lot of pressure on the judge to get a conviction. It's a lot of pressure on the prosecutor for a conviction because they got to live amongst those people who hate Karmelo. They have to live amongst them. Now you think about that. They have to live amongst them. That's why it's important to have representation of people who live in the community that you live in. It's important for people to serve the communities they live in. That's why we say that white officers have no business patrolling black communities, because most of them have no compassion for the people there because they can't relate to the people. They can't relate at all. They should not be patrolling black neighborhoods, point blank, period. Well, you know, we got black officers that patrol our neighborhood. Yeah, and that black officer know his place. White cops know their place. They know they can get away with certain things in black neighborhoods. That's why a lot of them, when they're in the academy, before they even get to the academy, they want to go to the black neighborhoods where the action is so that they can get off and they can do certain things, they can get away with it. They're never scared. When they talk about, I would fear for my life, they don't fear for their life. They want to go to the hood. They want to go where the action is. They want to go somewhere where they can plant drugs and steal money, beat up people, do whatever they want to do. Yeah, they look forward to doing that type of thing. Yeah, he's not. They're gonna do him dirty, and they're absolutely gonna have to. They're gonna do him dirty. He's gonna absolutely get done dirty. They're not even trying to hide it. They don't care nothing about what you think. They're saying, hey man, we ain't gonna put one. They wouldn't even allow a couple of black women. They said only the three black women who were qualified to be in the jury pool were all struck down because they were educators. Because they were educators, and this happened at a school, and they said that they might have some type of bias. Well, I wonder what all of the other people do, because but in that case, you can have bias about anything. You can have he could be a Christian, and you can have somebody say, well, I'm a Christian. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, if you took a poll, most of that jury is Christians. And I bet you also Karmelo Anthony more than likely is a Christian. But they still stayed on that pool, didn't they? They still stayed in that jury, didn't they? Because they pick and choose, man. It's all a game, man. It's all a dog and pony show. Ain't no justice. Ain't no justice. It's all manufactured. When you think you're getting justice, it really ain't justice. It's just you got by that time. Because DC, man, why you in my chat cussing and going on? You using cap, man? You drunk or something, bro? Come on, man. You've been with me for a long time, man. You know the rules, man. You know you ain't supposed to be doing all of that. You know we don't get down like that over here. Trying to press me, man. You're trying to press me. Ronald Coakley said it doesn't look like an all-white jury. If they ain't got a black person on that jury, it may as well be all white. What do you think the chances are that they would allow a jury period, to judge a white person, and it's not one white person on the jury? What do you think the chances are that happening in the United States of America? 0 to 0. It would not happen. That right there lets you know that they got some kind of power, that they could do something about that, but they won't. They won't. Because they are who we thought they were. They are their ancestors' descendants. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I know you. Yeah, I know you. I know you. I studied you. China Carter, China Carter. What's up, China? What's up, what's up, what's up? Who we got in the chat? Let's see what we got in the chat here. Ava, what's up, what's up? What's up, Doris? Jim D's. He's not going to get a not guilty. He's not going to get a not guilty verdict. He's not going to get a not guilty verdict. Even if it was, and the only way that it could end in a hung jury, as if something happened, something came out, some other news, something came out that was indisputable, that would cause them to have some doubt. If something came out indisputable, like, for example, if they had some type of audio recording or somebody came forward and with some information that revealed Austin Metcalf was indeed a racist. If they had some type of information, something that showed him, they had a record of him beating up some other black kid or something like that, and, you know, hurling racial epithets, something along those lines, something, you know, or maybe somebody, a member of the court, even the judge, somebody did something inappropriate, a juror did something, maybe. But that would mean they would retry it, and you'll have much of the same thing. You'll have much of the same thing, and they will get that guilty verdict. They will get it. The thing is this, fam. The youngster, Austin, I think he overplayed his hand. I think he saw a black kid under the tent and he wanted to be Billy Badass and make him get from under the tent. He felt like, first of all, this ain't your tent. This ain't your school. What you doing over here? So that kicked it off. What you doing over here? He's under a tent. You're not supposed to be over here. What you doing over here? So he took it upon himself to be top, what they call it, top dog security or whatever. He took it upon himself to go over there and mess with that boy. So the boy warned him, don't put your hands on me and see what happened. Touch me and see what happened. That's what he said. He said, touch me and see what happened. If somebody tell you, touch me and see what happened, why would you touch them? Let's kill all the part about he had a knife and, he wasn't supposed to be here or there. Let's kill all of that. Let me answer that. Just simply answer that question. If somebody tell you, touch me and see what happened, why would you touch them unless you want to see what happens? See, that just don't make sense to me. See, I'm smart enough to know, and this was years ago when I was a teenager. I was smart enough to know when somebody was ready. I was smart enough to know. If somebody can tell you something that confidently, touch me and see what happened, they probably are ready to take you down. If you touch them, they're probably going to let you see what's going to happen. And it's probably not going to be advantageous to you. So again, if somebody say, touch me and see what happened, why would you touch them unless you want to see what happens? I think Austin overplayed his hand. And he put his hands on that boy, not once, but twice. Remember, he pushed him. He pushed him. You say, well, he had a knife. Where you bring a knife to school? Man, this kid's bringing guns to school. I can't be mad at no kid who take a knife to school to protect themselves. I can't be mad at nobody who walks around in this day and time with a knife. I can't be mad even if you in your house and you walking around with a knife. Because these uncivilized mutts are everywhere. And they'll come up in your house. They acting like, he got a knife, he had a knife, he had a knife, he had a knife, he had a knife. They screaming louder about a knife, and then I heard them screaming about these kids coming to school with guns. We got Cold Pepsi. What's up? What's up, Emily Jane? Michael Grisham, what's up? See, here's the part that ain't nobody saying. See, they got a lot of smoke for Karmelo. They got a lot of negative stuff to say about Karmelo. But here's the part the same people aren't saying that they usually say. When black people are injured or when black people are harmed in some type of way, this is what they normally say. Where if he wouldn't have done this, it would have never happened. Learn how to keep your hands to yourself, and you won't get killed. That's the type of stuff they say. I know it because I'm all in these comments all the time. Well, it wouldn't have happened. Even today, even when it comes to the jury, they say they're in the jury talking about, they're in the comments talking about, I read one comment where somebody said, don't kill people and you won't have to worry about a jury. I bet you they didn't say, don't put your hands on somebody and you won't have to worry about getting killed. Because that's what they normally say. That's what they'll say typically if a black person would have gotten killed after putting their hands on somebody. The code switching is next level. But I know them. I know you. I studied it. I'm well aware of the double standards. Nikki Green Horse. Oh yeah, you did. We are black. They are white. Our blood is red, but we can never unite. Let's get down. Whoa. What's up, Ebony Plummer? Oh, that's a Nick Greenhearts. Thought I said Nikki. Nick. What up, Nick? Jerry S63. What up? Let's run that beautiful bean footage again on the news.
Thanks.
And a reminder, Fox 4 will bring you extensive being racially charged. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager with.
Now listen to what the newscaster says in the very few lines. Listen to what she says about this case being racially charged.
In the last hour, a jury has been chosen to decide the closely watched murder trial of Karmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but the jury will not include anyone who is black, despite this case being racially charged. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
And just know that this is Donald Trump era. Just know that this is them. This is all that 2025 agenda, the redrawing the maps, the gerrymandering, the firing of black military, high level black military personnel, government officials, just the rolling back of civil rights legislation. All of this is part of this. Do not for 1 second think that these things are not interconnected.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no black jurors on this panel. And I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back.
So they had 3 black potential jurors, 3 who represented 100% of the potential Black jurors who was in the strike zone, and they struck them all. Only in America.
Yes, now, Alex.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no Black jurors on this panel. And I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 Black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available Black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background, Karmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony was reportedly sitting under a tent for a school that he did not attend. Witnesses say the two got into an argument and Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. Police said that Anthony told them he acted in self-defense. Now, this case has become racially charged, fueled in large part by online speculation, rumors, and misinformation. On Wednesday, attorneys for both sides got an hour and 45 minutes to question the reduced poll of these potential jurors. They were questioned on their views on a variety of topics, including race, how they felt about serving on this case, and if they would hold it against the defendant if he chose not to testify on his own behalf. The defense also tried to gauge if the potential jurors would be uncomfortable giving Anthony a lower sentence if there is a guilty verdict. I talked to a jury consultant about the process so far.
It's an excellent team on both sides. I believe Bill Worski has, he's a veteran prosecutor. He's tried some very high-profile cases. And then Toby Shook has been both a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. And then Mike Howard is an excellent criminal defense.
Shut your lying ass. Man, just lying. Shut up. Shut up. They all on the same team. The judge, the jury, the prosecutor, and the defense attorney. Maybe. I haven't studied. I'll withdraw my defense attorney statement for now. I haven't studied him enough to know. I got to watch some of the moves that he make, and I can see whether or not he's on the same team as the prosecutor. Because sometimes they all work together. You already at a loss when you got the judge, the jury, and the prosecutor, won't you? You out of here. The defense can talk to their blue in the face. They ain't trying to hear nothing you saying. When you got the deck stacked like Rick Chow had against Cyrus, what's Cyrus' name? Cyrus Carmack. What is it? Belton, I think. Cyrus Carmack Belton. But you know what I'm talking about. When you got the deck stacked like that, they're going to do what they want to do. Same thing with the Zimmerman case. They already knew what they was going to do. They already had that verdict before the case was landed in a certain person's court. They already know what the outcome is going to be. Because they done decided that we're gonna ride this out together, no matter what. The jury and the judge get their checks from the same people. The jury, the judge, and the prosecutor. The jury, the judge, and the prosecutor checks are signed by the same person. But they make us think that each one of these people are acting independent. The jury, the judge, and the prosecutor get their check from the same entity. It's the same person's signature on all of their checks. You still think that they're working independently? Come on, fam. It's game. It's all game. It's all game. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to give a few more shout outs before I go and I'm out. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, China? What's up? What's up? What's up? Cadillac Dixon. We got the Emily Jane, cool driver. Sound of Music, Antonio Smith. All right, fam, I appreciate y'all joining the live. Make sure you like before you get out of here. Make sure you share the video. Tell a friend. You did? Let's fellowship. That's my time, fam. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.